you can see here we are going to implement methods. First is, I told you namespace is a collection of classes. So we have a class inside the namespace. What is the name of namespace? IT3A1 Practice-5 methods 16, 10, 20, 22. This is the name of namespace. Inside the namespace we have a class. Inside the class we can take data members and methods. Okay. So first we are taking here some data members. Okay. So this is your choice. If you want to change the name of the class, you can change. It is not compulsory the same class name you can keep only. So if you want to change, you can change here, like I change employee. Okay, it is not compulsory because this is a class name. It is user defined. It is your choice. You can take the name as per your comfortability. Okay, it is not compulsory, it should be programmed. So now here we will take some data members. So how can we take data members? Data members are variables. Okay, so we are taking like string type name of employee. Okay, like I am taking EMP name. Okay, then I am taking EMP like father name. I am taking like EMP address. Now I am taking like integer EMP ID. These are the data members we have taken. Now we want to keep the value to these data members. Okay, how can we keep the value? We will take method for this process. So I am taking like the first method type. This is the first method type. What is the first method? Method non-returning value. Non-returning value. Okay, and non-parameterized. Non-returning value, non-parameterized. I am using this method inside the same class. I am using this method inside the same class. It is not necessary to make it public. You are making public because you want to access your things outside the class. But here I am accessing in the same class, so no need to make it public. By default it is private. By default it is private. So to implement the method we have 5 things. Number 1, access specifier. Access specifier is used to make it visible inside the class or outside the class. It depends on the keyword, public, private or protected. First is access specifier. Second is return type. Which type of value will be returning by the method? Second is return type. Third, method name. Fourth, parameter list to the method. 5, method body. These are the 5 things we should remember while we implement a method. So now here I am not taking any access specifier. It means by default it is private. Okay, why we are not taking? Because I want to use this method to be accessing inside the same class. If I need to access in the same class, no need to make it public. So here I am directly using return type. So it is a non-returning value. Non-returning value means void type. Non-returning value means void type. Now the method name. The method name I am taking like input. Inside the method, no argument because it is non-parameterized. So I am not taking any argument inside this method parameter list. And then method body. This is the method body. Now we want to input the value. So how can we take it? You know very well. First is employee ID. So employee ID is which type? Integer type. Yeah. So we need to convert to integer. So you can take convert dot to int, or you can take int dot parse. So we can take int dot parse method. Okay. Then inside it we will apply emp id. So this emp id, sorry, we need to take it console dot read line. Yeah, console dot read line, this one. So this is the first data member we inserted the value. Okay, and you can see here the second employee name, you can take it directly because it is string type. Okay, we don't bother about this, we don't need to change it. Third is father name, directly you can take it. And fourth is emp address. So you have taken the values for 4 data members, but you took the value is okay, but you need to show to the user which value user need to insert, okay, from the keyboard. So what you will do in this case, you need to make it console dot write line. Inside this write it enter employee ID. Yeah, enter emp id. So and here do one thing, don't take write line, it is better to take write only because it will come in the same line, the cursor will blink to the same line, that's why. Okay, and then employee name. Then employee father name. Then employee address. Okay, so this is only for labeling, means to show to the user what value the user needs to insert. Okay, the first is employee ID. It will receive employee ID in string type and convert it to integer type. Okay, this is a type conversion. All other data members are string type and we receive the value from the keyboard again string type, so we don't need any conversion here. So that's why emp name, emp father name, emp address, all variables are string type. We don't need to convert this type of data. Okay, so now this is the input. This is what? This is input. Now we take one more method for output. We will take one more method for output. So this method we will take, copy here and we will paste here. Okay, this is, we will take output. Okay, in this method definitely we need what? Console write line statements only, because this is output. Yeah, just put it like this, so it will be employee ID is like this. Okay, so now we will take here employee name, just put like this, it's employee name, delete this, now employee father name, like this, then this, and employee address. So these are the values we have taken to display the output. Okay, the values whatever you insert it, use here right line, it is better because it will come to the next line. We need output to be separate in the next lines, so we have taken here these. You can understand here is the method to non-returning value, non-parameterized. So again the non-returning value void type, and non-parameterized we are not passing any parameter into it. Okay, so we implemented two methods, one for input the value, one for output of values. Okay, or you can write here to be separate to the user, like console dot write line, and put it here. Then you can understand easily this is output, nothing else. Okay, so don't be confused with this, it is only for your understanding. Okay, so the same way we are putting here for input. Dear, remember one thing, I told you here in the class it should be like class is a combination of data members and methods. Okay, you see here we cannot write directly the console write line statement here. Understand, this statement you are only allowed to use inside the method, you cannot apply directly in the class. So it is, you can see the error. Okay, so don't do this type of mistakes. So you should keep this type of statement inside the method. Okay, in C# it's like that. Okay, so now you have created two methods, one method input and another method output. What do you need now? Just create object. Yeah, just create object of the class, but you have the same class. I am not having the another class. You can see here only one class, employee. Okay, whatever we are doing activity, it is inside one class. Okay, so that's why we are not taking access specifier public. Okay, so now here all the things are private, data members are private, methods are private, everything is private here. Okay, so now inside this main we will create an object for the employee class. So we created object for the employee class. Okay, it is what? Creation of object. Okay, we created object for this class, and then we call the methods. So method calling, definitely it is under your hand, it is under your supervision. Why? Because the method is always controlled by the programmer. Whenever you call the method, only then it will execute. Otherwise, you will not find the solution from the method. But constructor executes automatically whenever you create an object. So constructor is under the hand of system. Method is under the hand of user, programmer. Okay. So now here we will take like emp dot, what is the method name? The method name is input and output. Okay. So I am taking here input is the method name. So this is what? This is method calling. Manually you are calling the method. Okay. This is a method calling. And second is like you want to only insert the value, you don't want to show the output. It's your choice. If you are writing a second statement, only then it will show the output. Otherwise it will just take the input, it will not show the output anymore, because it is under your control. Okay. So display values always be under the control of the programmer. It is making a security for your data to be showing to others. Okay. What data you want to show and what data you don't want to show. Sorry, this method again, method call. Okay. And then so here we call the method. This is only the console read key to insert one key after completing this execution of the program. So whenever you start to execute it, your program control comes to the main body. Okay. Inside the main body, it creates an object for the class employee. Then it will call the first method input. Okay. Whenever it calls the first method input, it directly jump to the input method. So where is input method? Here. Here is your input method. And whatever the details you defined here, this method will continue as per the particular details. Okay. This is what? This is your method definition. Okay. It will continue the method execution as per you have given the details. Then after executing it, it will control back to the main body. Okay. And then come to the next. Control back to the main body after executing input. It is not like that it will directly continue with output. No. It will come back to the main body, and inside main body the next method to be calling. So it will jump to the output method. This is the output method. Inside the output method, whatever the details you have explained, it will execute accordingly. And then the control back to the same point output. Okay. The method calling. Then it will come to the next statement, console read key. It will just take the one key from the keyboard and then come out of the main body, come out of the class, and come out of the namespace. Then it will close the full execution of the program. Okay. So now here you understand very well. This is the namespace. Inside the namespace we have class employee. Inside the class employee we have data members, 4 data members. Then we have method 1, non-returning value, non-parameterized. And we explained one method, input type, and we have taken all the details of input in this method. Second, we have another method, non-returning value, non-parameterized. This is for output. Okay, whatever the details we need inside the output, we have keep here. Then inside the main method, we have creation of object, and after that we call these two methods inside the main body. Okay, so now we execute it and we understand it. So you can see here it is showing you input. Okay, inside the input method you are now write the employee ID, now employee name, now employee father name, employee address. This is input, this is output. Yeah, this is the first method. This comes from the first method. You input the value, you insert the value, and this is come from the second method, non-returning value, non-parameterized. Understand? Non-returning value, non-parameterized. This is the first type. All of you understand this? Any problem in this? And you can see everything is one class. Everything is one class. Or you can watch like this also. You have one symbol here. Whenever you click on it, it will all should be inside one class. Yeah? Whenever you click on it, plus, then it will show the all details of the class. Now you keep it the all details of the class. This is the all class methods. We have here three methods: one input, one output, and one main. Okay, three methods. And here we have only one object for this class, so that's why it is showing one reference. Here you can see the one reference, because it is having only one object. Okay, it is having only one object, so that's why it is showing one reference. If you create here one more object, if you have two employees, what you will do? You create another object. Yes, so if you create another object, then this is for employee 1, this is for employee 1, this is for employee 2, this is for employee 2. This is for input for 2 employees. Okay, this is for output of 2 employees. Okay, in this case we can do one thing. We will take from here. This thing we will take from here, and we can put here. Okay, input, and this is for so I want to show just one thing. It is for input 1. Okay, and put here input 2. Then you can understand it is asking for input 1, this is asking for input 2. Okay, then here next is output 1. Okay, then this for output 2. Just for the reflection, understand easily, nothing else. Okay, so here if we execute it, so it will ask for 2 employees. Okay, you can see here input 1. Okay, so input 1, name, industries we are not keeping all the time, remember about this, so we use this kind of data types. So see here, this is the input for 1, this is the input for 2, this is the output for 1, and this is the output for 2. Okay, so in this way you can keep how many objects you have, accordingly you can take. But here what we want to show, we want to show non-returning value, non-parameterized. Okay, our is first implementation of method is non-returning value, non-parameterized. Okay, so all of you done this. Now we are going to implement a second type of method. What is the second type? Non-returning value, and the method is, this is non-parameterized. Okay, I am talking about the first one, non-returning value, and method is parameterized. Non-returning value, method is parameterized. Okay, so now what we'll do means we will pass parameters here. So how can we pass the parameters? What is the type of data? 3 type string type, 3 data string type, and 1 data integer type. So I need to keep first like integer type, so I'll take like integer and emp id. So I'm taking here the different name eid. It is not compulsory you should take the same name. Okay, so eid. Second is string type, so second is string type, the name. Okay, I am taking here e_name, nme. Okay, third is again string type, so string father name. Yeah, so e_f_n, capital F N M E. Okay, then the fourth one is string type address, E A D D or E, no problem. Okay, so we pass the parameters. What we did, we pass the parameters to the method, and non-returning value, void is non-returning value. So what we will do in this case, we just copy this, and we don't need this here. We will here use from where the value comes, e_id, the value comes from here. For name, where the value? For name, e_nme, the name value coming from this. And what is the father name? We don't need this, and here we put the father name. Okay, and the last one is E. So these are the data members of the class: EID, EMP name, EMP ID, EMP address, EMP F name. These are the data members of the class, and these are the values. These are the values whatever we receive from outside. Okay, so how can we receive it? We will see on that. First, these are the data member is initialized by the arguments. Okay, these are the arguments. Understand? So non-returning value means void. The method is void type, and parameterized means we pass the parameter to this method. Okay, so now dear, come to the main body. Inside the main body we are passing a value. So we are passing a value where? To the method. Where is the method? Here is the method. In this method we need to pass the values. So what we'll do in this case, we will take like, sorry, oh, I have it. So we will take here like this, and for input second also we need the same statements. Okay, so now what are the parameters? EMP ID, EMP name, ENTF name and address. So what we'll do in this case, we will take all data members and we need to initialize these data members in the main body also. So we will take here, but here it is not compulsory take the same name. I am telling you always it is your choice, because the method input, the method output and the method main all having the different scope. The limit is different, so you can check with the variables same name or different name, no problem at all. Okay, if you are taking different name is also the same way, because the memory allocate inside the main method to the variable is different, and the method input having a different memory allocation for the data members. Okay, so all the data members you are taking here with the same name or different name, it doesn't matter. And now pass the parameters here. What is the first parameter? EMP ID. What is the second parameter? EMP name. Yeah. What is the third parameter? EMP father name. What is the fourth parameter? EMP address. Okay, this is the way to call the method. Okay, so whatever the values you are putting here, these values directly pass as an argument to this input method, and this input method directly call the input definition. Where is input definition? Here. It will check all the details, the same name of the method and the parameters of the same type. Here employee ID integer type, name string type, father name string type, address string type. So it will give the value EID for EMP ID, name for EMP name, EF name to EMP F name, EAD to EMP address. So all the data members we initialized with the help of the values we passed from the main body to the input method. We passed all the values from the main body to the input method. This is parameterized method calling. Parameterized method calling. Okay, and the same thing we need for EMP2. Okay, just put here 2. So this is for EMP2 and this is for EMP1. Okay, so here what we did, we have changed our method non-returning value and parameterized. Okay, we pass the parameter to this method. Yes. So now whenever we execute this method, this program, output method, we didn't change anything. Output is same. We are not having any difference in the output method. Okay, we are not changing here anything. So here we just take it a look on our program. So this is the first input. Okay, this is the second input. This is the first input, means parameterized method we are using. Okay, and this is the second input. Then just we click on it and we receive the output. This is the first output, whatever we insert here, and this is the second output, whatever we insert here. Okay.
User means no difference.
Yeah. For user is no difference. Okay, but for the programming, it's a different. Okay. So here we need to understand the concept. These values we pass from the main body. These values we pass from the main body and we receive to the input method. This is the way of passing a value. This is the way of passing a value. Okay. We pass the values and we receive the values to the data members of the class. For employee 1, first time for employee 1, second time for employee 2. Here your data members are same, but it allocates the memory as per the object. If you have 2 objects, each data member will allocate the memory for 2 times. Okay, it is like that. So we understand here how to use a parameterized method and non-returning value. This is the second type. Okay, so we understand here the second type, method, non-returning value and parameterized. Now we are starting method, returning value and parameterized. No, method, returning value and parameterized. So returning value we can use, I'll tell for both, but first we will use for output. Okay, so we will use here returning value in second method. Here returning value non-parameterized, and here we will use returning value parameterized, both. Okay, so if I am talking about the returning value, it means the return type other than the void. Okay, like we are taking here string type. String type. Now we have taken the string type, we should have a return type. So return, like we want to return, first is emp name. Okay, and after that we will put here some string type value. You can understand this is input. Okay, so I am writing here input, done. So you can understand it is for input. It's like that, huh? Input, done. So you can understand it is returning value from input. It is returning value from input, and here we will write for oh sorry, string, and for return I'm taking here again emp name here return emp name, output done. Here string type return type for output and string type return type for input with parameterized. This is a parameterized and this is non-parameterized. Okay, so if I execute this particular program, the same output we will receive whatever we have done in the last stage. Okay, like if I execute it, I will not see any difference. Just I have taken the return type, but I will not see any difference. Yeah, see, the output will be in the same way. 101 name, father name, address, input 2, emp name, father name, then address. You will see we will not have any difference. The same, whatever you input the values and you receive the output. No worries about that. The same way, whatever you have it. But how can you feel the difference? How can you feel the difference? Now, come out, just right here inside the main body where you are calling the method. Here you are calling the method. Just apply here console dot write line. Console dot write line. Just apply console dot write line and keep all the details inside console write line. Okay, the same way for input second here. Okay, and check for input. Now you check for input, then we will apply for output. Okay, now you see the difference. First write it here, emp id, again 101, then emp name, then you see here the name of the employee Asad, input done. This is the returning value from input method. This is what? Returning value from input method. Second is 102, then name, then father name, then address. It is for second. It is for second. So you can see here the value is returning from the input method. This value returned from the input method. Where we are receiving this value? We are receiving inside the main body. This value returned from the input method and we receive inside the main method. Okay, this is the benefit of the returning value. We can pass the control from one part of the program to another part. We are passing the control from here to where? We are passing to the input and to the here. We are passing the control here. Okay. Second, we will apply for output. Apply for output. Yeah, no problem. apply for output. Okay. So for output we have a written EMP name output done, and for input EMP name input done. Okay. So we'll do here one more thing. I want to take here some space. Okay. So I'll write here just like that. Then it will be somehow, because on the board you are not able to see. This is for output and this is for input. Okay. So now if we execute this program, we will see separately for input return value and for output return value. This is EMP ID. Now you can see EMP name, so you can see the first input done. Okay. Now come to the second. Now you can see this is for second input done. Yeah. And here is output done. This is for second output. So this is the way to return the value from the method and receive on another part of the program. So where are we receiving? We are receiving inside the main body, and we are returning from input method or from output method. Okay. So this is the full program. It is a method returning value and parameterized method. Here method returning value, non-parameterized method. Understand? This is a complete theme for the methods. We have more types and we will discuss in the next lecture.